Greetings from the House of Representatives. This is your state representative, Condotta, and we are in week 5 or so. I'm almost losing track, but it's going pretty well. And there's a lot of action. We're talking about a lot of subject matter, but as most of you know, the budget is starting to get closer and closer to our hearts. As we get closer to the middle of the end of session, the budget starts to come up. So I want to spend this time on one particular area of the budget. It has to do with education. Because the fact is, the Supreme Court, under the McCleary decision, has told us that we are not funding education adequately. Well, that's certainly a matter of opinion, but most folks seem to agree with them or want to agree with them. And so today we had a hearing on how we take care of that. How do we solve that situation? That was in the Finance Committee. Well, it's interesting. Everybody that came in and testified, particularly from the education group, said that the McCleary decision says we have to come up with more revenue. We have to have more taxes and more revenue. Folks, it did not say that. What it said is we had to prioritize education, we had to fund education properly. It did not say we have to raise additional revenue. And when you put these folks on the spot and ask them where you would raise that revenue, things get very interesting. Would you like to raise the sales tax? Well, not really. That's the most regressive tax. That this same groups have argued over and over that that's not the place to do it. So then they ask, would you like to raise the B&O tax? Well, the business community will tell you that's one of the highest business taxes. It is actually the highest business tax in the United States. Business pays a very large portion of the taxes here in Washington, so that's really not a good argument. You raise property taxes? Well, in some areas that might not be too devastating. In the 12th district, with such a small tax base, it's very devastating. Our property taxes are significantly higher than most because our land, most of it, is owned by the government. So we have a very small amount of private land to work from. Okay, and then the other argument is tax exemptions. So we ask them point blank, which tax exemptions did you want to get rid of? Do you want to put the sales tax back on food? Oh boy, no, we sure don't want to do that because that's regressive also. Well, give me some specifics on those tax exemptions and where it's going to raise $1 billion. I have yet to hear anybody answer that question because there just isn't enough tax exemptions to make this $1 billion they want to make. Look, folks, what the McCleary decision said is that we need to make education our first level of funding. We should take care of education first. That's why in the Republican House we talk about funding education first, okay? And then we're going to have to decide what else we fund on priority basis from there. This is the first time in years we've had a budget that's starting to come in line with revenue. Revenue is at the highest point. Let me repeat this one more time. Highest point it's been. We have the most revenue coming in 2013 and 14 for this new budget. We'll have the most revenue we've ever had. So do we really need to increase taxes? Probably not. We just need to reprioritize what we have and stay on a sustainable line going forward so that we don't have this big roller coaster thing that we've been working with for the last 10 years that I've been here. I've seen it go up, I've seen it go down. When we get a little bit of money, for every dollar we get, we spend 3. Okay? We can't do that. So this year, I say let's reprioritize education, make the adjustments where we have to, take care of our most vulnerable people for sure, and get a sustainable budget so we don't have to go back and do this again and again and again. This is your State Representative, Condotta. We'll see you next week right here.